Welcome one, welcome all to the virtual 2020 NBA Awards show. I am your host, Symbiote NBA, and I know what you're thinking. Who the hell is this guy? And honestly, I'm wondering the same thing as well. I have absolutely zero qualifications to be hosting this show. I show absolutely no personality in any of my videos, but they've selected me as the host for some reason, and the show must go on, so here we go. Along with me, I have some very special presenters, starting off with Hardwood Vibes, an expert on Dallas Mavericks basketball for some reason, and he's the tallest 14-year-old I've ever met. Reliable Rants is an Academy Award-winning actor for his performance in DeMarcus Cousins when he got waived. He is also a Laker fan since the Robert Sacre era, so I think he knows what bad basketball looks like. Along with these two, I also have Official Romp 2.0, a man who knows about his fair share of disappointment because he is unfortunately a 76ers fan. Talk about coming up short and not meeting expectations, right Romp?
Is it too early to start the MVP conversation? Because Ben Simmons is looking like a candidate.
And finally, we have Geek, who is unfortunately the biggest Suns fan I know. Imagine your team not making the NBA playoffs for the past decade. That's just tough. But hey, at least he gets to watch Kelly Oubre every night, if you know what I'm saying.
And I don't know what to say. I don't know, you guys.
Clearly, we are the most qualified bunch of guys to be talking about these awards, so let's get started. The first award that we'll be presenting today is the Sixth Man of the Year award. This award is usually given to the player who provides that spark or extra push off the bench, whether it be on the offensive or defensive end. In the past, the award was almost exclusively given to big men such as Kevin McHale or Bobby Jones, but since the 2006-2007 season, this has been a guard-dominated award, with guards winning 12 of the last 13, including guys such as Lou Williams, J.R. Smith, and Jamal Crawford. And without further ado, I'll have Hardwood Vibes present the 2020 NBA Sixth Man of the Year award.
In the last few seasons, the Sixth Man of the Year award has been pretty straightforward, as in the last 5 out of 6 seasons, Jamal Crawford and Lou Williams have won the award, and it's usually been obvious and in a blowout. But this year, there has been a lot of candidates that have been competing for this award, as Derrick Rose, Lou Williams, Montrezl Harrell, and Dennis Schroeder are all great candidates, and I could see winning this award. But my winner is Dennis Schroeder. Although Dennis Schroeder couldn't lead a team in Atlanta, and it looked pretty bad when he was the number 1 option, he's been a great Sixth Man of the Year. This season, Schroeder has been averaging 19.1 points, 3.7 rebounds, and 4.1 assists, has been one of the main reasons that the Thunder have been a very big surprise this year. He plays a lot during crunch time, as the Thunder run this really cool 3-guard lineup, and he is a part of that, and they do really well in crunch time with that lineup. I really like Dennis Schroeder in this game, and he's a really confident player, and I'm glad he has fit this role with the Thunder and has really been thriving in it. I'm very excited to see what he's going to do in the playoffs in the future with this Thunder team.
Alright, let's settle down. I know everyone is a huge fan of Hardwood Vibes and Jackson, but we gotta talk about the next award, which is the Most Improved Player. An award which, goes to the player who's improved most since the last season. Usually this award goes to guys who had a very limited role the year before, showed clear flashes of talent, and is finally getting the opportunity that he rightfully deserves. We've seen it in the past with guys such as Jimmy Butler, CJ McCollum, Victor Oladipo, and Pascal Siakam. And to present the 2020 Most Improved Player award is Reliable Rants. Take it away.
Now look, every now and then we always see players take a huge jump from one year to the next, and that's what we give the Most Improved Player award to. The goal of being an NBA player is to improve every year, but there's just some people who take that huge jump that we have to acknowledge. So here are my top candidates for Most Improved Player, and then I'm going to go over my winner and why I chose that player. So my top candidates are Brandon Ingram, Bam Adebayo, Luka Doncic, and Jason Tatum. Now, for some reason, I don't know why I don't hear people talking about Luka for MIP. I mean, he's having an MVP type season, and all his stats and percentages went up drastically, and his team is doing very well. And then we have Bam Adebayo, who also took a huge jump, and their team is doing very well. But to me, it's between Brandon Ingram and Bam Adebayo, just because we saw Bam Adebayo turn into a star center over the span of a year. Like last year putting up 9 and 8, this year putting up 16 and 10. Those are all-star numbers, and he was an all-star. But Brandon Ingram, on the other hand, we just saw everything about his game improve. Field goal percentage, three-point percentage, passing, scoring, rebounding, everything. Every aspect about Brandon Ingram's game took a huge jump, and that's what you need for a most improved player. Now he's the star player of his team, and he always comes up clutch. His scoring ability is just out of this world, and that's what I give my most improved player to. Someone who improves all around, and that's what BI did.
Every year, we see some new faces come into the league, and we can't help but think, who of these guys has the brightest future ahead of them? And usually this award is given to the player who goes on to have an incredible career ahead of him. This includes guys such as Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal, Tim Duncan, and in more recent years, LeBron James, Chris Paul, Kevin Durant, and last year's winner, Luka Doncic. And while this year we've seen a lot of solid rookies throughout the league, there are two that stand out at the top of their class, Ja Morant and Zion Williamson. And with that, I'll leave it to official Romp to present the award.
Yo, what's up? It's official Romp here to give you the Rookie of the Year. Now, this is a pretty tough question. Well, actually, it's not that tough. I'm gonna have to go with Ja Morant. 17.6 points a game, 3.5 rebounds, 6.9 assists, 49% from the field, and he made the Memphis Grizzlies very, very fun to watch. And let me tell you, when I was watching him, I wanted to jump through the screen and join him because he just seems like a great leader overall. And not only that, but coming into the season, the Grizzlies were not expected to make the playoffs. I saw power rankings before the season where they were like 27th, 28th, and 29th. So they were not expected to be competing for the 8th spot. So that just shows that Ja Morant has had a major impact on this team. But honestly, I gotta bring up Zion Williamson because if he played more games, I don't think there was gonna be a question who would be Rookie of the Year. Because Zion showed in 17 games that he's gonna be a future superstar, maybe a future MVP in this league if he could stay healthy. Averaging like 23 points a game, 6 rebounds. I mean, he made the Pelicans a legit team just in 17 games, so he's gonna be a hell of a force too. And I would feel bad if I didn't give some love to the little guys like Matisse Thybulle, showed off his defensive capability. And then we got Tyler Hero, who had a great rookie season, Duncan Robinson. And I'm sure there's a bunch of other rookies that I forget because I just can't think right now. It's pretty damn late. But overall, my Rookie of the Year is Ja Morant. And Zion would have it, but simply he just didn't play in enough games.
The next award that we'll be presenting today is the NBA Defensive Player of the Year award. Over the past 2 seasons, we've seen this award go to Rudy Gobert of the Utah Jazz for anchoring their defense down low with his shot blocking and shot altering presence. However, this year there are a lot of guys who have made cases for themselves, such as Ben Simmons, the league leader in steals and a guy who can guard the 1 through 5, as well as Anthony Davis, who is a 3-time blocks leader, 3-time member of the all-defensive team, and another guy who can guard the 1 through 5 as well. But, in my opinion, there has been one guy who has stood above the rest, and while the typical box score numbers may not show it, the 2020 NBA Defensive Player of the Year is without a doubt Giannis Antetokounmpo. Taking a look at the box score stats, when looking at Giannis's defense, there's nothing that really pops out. 1 steal and 1 block is nothing to write home about, but then you see he's averaging 11.5 defensive boards per game, and is 1st in defensive rating, 1st in defensive win shares, and 1st in defensive box plus minus. And on top of all of this, he's part of the #1 defensive team in the league, and he's a major component of it. Like I said, Giannis is one of the only players in the league who can legitimately guard the 1 through 5 position, capable of shutting down anyone in the league because of his freakish athleticism and strength. And the proof is in the numbers. According to Synergy, Giannis is in the 99th percentile in isolation defense, only allowing 0.361 points per possession. Yeah, good luck scoring on the Greek Freak. The second to last award that we'll be presenting tonight is the Coach of the Year award, an award that usually goes to the coach of the best team in the league or the coach of a team who has exceeded all expectations placed on them. There are many great coaches in the league who I believe will eventually win this award, but unfortunately this year, only one can win the award. And to present the 2020 NBA Coach of the Year, I have Geek.
Hey there guys, my name is Brandon, aka Suns Geek, and if it has to deal with the Phoenix Suns, I'm going to make a video about it. Shout out to Symbiote for having me on the channel, I really appreciate it. And now let's dive into the NBA Coach of the Year. I'm also going to be talking about a few honorable mentions. Now, last year Mike Budenholzer won the NBA Coach of the Year award with a 60-win Bucks team. He also won the award in 2015 with the Atlanta Hawks. The clear favorite here is Nick Nurse, who won an NBA championship last year as a rookie head coach against the Golden State Warriors, and I think I'm going to jump on the bandwagon and say that Nick Nurse will win the NBA Coach of the Year. Before the season was suspended, the Toronto Raptors were 46-18. They were 23-9 at home and on the road. Kyle Lowry and Pascal Siakam were in the NBA All-Star game. Oh yeah, and quick side note, anytime you have Patrick McCaw on your team, you are an instant title contender. I mean, Patrick McCaw is a 3-time NBA champion, and he's only 24 years old. It's pretty awesome. And somehow the Toronto Raptors had a better winning percentage than last year's title team. They were on pace to win 59 games this season. And after losing Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green, Nick Nurse had to experiment with Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, Terrence Davis, Chris Boucher, and Matt Thomas. So my vote is going to go to Nick Nurse of the Toronto Raptors for the Coach of the Year award. I think there's been a ton of great storylines this year for the NBA coaches. I think Frank Vogel deserves a bunch of credit. Brad Stevens, who's never won a Coach of the Year award, and I don't know why. Mike Budenholzer deserves to be in that conversation. Doc Rivers, Mike Malone, Taylor Jenkins, and Monty Williams. As somebody who covers the Phoenix Suns on his channel, Monty Williams deserves a ton of credit. And honestly, you guys, the list goes on and on and on. So let me know who you think should win the NBA Coach of the Year award. And shout out to Symbiote for having me on your channel. I really appreciate it.
And for the final award of the night, the biggest award, we have the 2020 NBA Most Valuable Player Award. And let's get straight into the facts. While you can argue that there are many amazing players in this league who deserve the award, the fact of the matter is that there have only been 2 players who have actually separated themselves from the pack this year, and it's the King, LeBron James, the leader of the #1 team in the Western Conference, and the Greek Freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo, the leader of the #1 team in the Eastern Conference, and the #1 team in the whole NBA. Both guys have had career years in one way or another, and without them, both of their teams would be fringe playoff teams at best. And while this MVP race has been nearly neck and neck throughout the season, the 2020 NBA Most Valuable Player Award must go to Giannis Antetokounmpo. In my opinion, it should be without question that Giannis is the league's MVP. Like we said earlier, he's the best defender in the league, on the best defense and team in the league. On top of this, he's averaging nearly 30 points per game, which ranks 3rd in the league on just 30 minutes per night, on a very efficient 54.7% from the field. He's 1st in PER, 1st in defensive box plus minus, 1st in overall box plus minus, 1st in value over replacement player, 2nd in the league in win shares, and 3rd in the league in rebounds per game. He can score, rebound, pass, and play lockdown defense, and has led his team to the best record in the NBA without another top 10 player by his side. I mean, what more does an MVP need to be? Take Giannis off the Bucks and what happens? Exactly, they aren't even making the NBA playoffs. This is why Giannis is your 2020 NBA Most Valuable Player. And there you have it. That is the end of the 2020 NBA Awards show presented by me, Symbiote NBA, Suns Geek, Reliable Rants, Hardwood Vibes, and Official Romp. We'd like to thank you very much for tuning in and staying until the end, and if you'd like to know our personal picks, they'll be flashed up on the screen while we're doing this outro. I'd like to give a big thanks to Hardwood Vibes, Reliable Rants, Official Romp, and Suns Geek for coming out and doing this collaboration with me. It means a lot, and you should check out their channels for some great content. I'll link it down below in the description. We also do a little live stream type of thing on random dates, so make sure you keep a lookout on our channels to know when we're going live next. We usually answer a bunch of questions from chat and talk about the NBA and the games that are happening that day. And with that, thank you very much again for watching. Don't forget to like the video, visit all of our channels, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. We'd appreciate it very much. And just remember, this is just our opinion, and it's not 100% fact.